Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So if you're new, my name is Linn. I'm glad you found my channel. So in today's video, I'm gonna be testing out the Riviera palette. This palette is on everybody's lips these days, and I'm so excited to test it out and let you guys know in my opinion, is it worth your money? Should you get it or forget it? So this palette retails for $45 at Sephora's website. You get 14 different shadows in here, and each are 0.73 grams. And this is also gluten-free, cruelty-free, and paraben-free as well. So first, when I look at this outside packaging, I absolutely love this. But this really takes me back to the summer vacation that I used to have with my grandparents. We went on a boat trip every single summer, and it was so much fun, and I really miss the boat life. So this really takes me back to that. I absolutely love the packaging. It is not velvet, which I love because the velvet packaging always gets very dirty, but this is white. It will probably get a little dirty as well. So once we open it up, you can see all these amazing shadows. This is a very colorful palette. So I really love that you get 6 different metallics, and they are all together at the top row, except from this white matte color, which is called Sails. And then at the bottom, you have all the matte shadows. But 3 of these shadows are pressed pigment, which means that you really need to be careful when you work with them because they can have a little bit more fallout and also be a little harder to blend and work with. And the pigments are the Bahamas right here, which is this bright pink. Then we have Can, which is this bright purple. And last but not least, this brown shadow right here, which is called Palm. So as always, I'm gonna prime my lids using the MAC Paint Pot in Soft Ochre. Absolutely love this for priming my eyelids. So I'm just gonna apply this with a flat definer brush. And this is the Jessup 195. So we're just gonna place this all over the lid and all the way up to our brows. So to start off, I would take Sails, which is this white matte color right here. So I'm just gonna apply that pretty much right above our crease and all the way up to our brows, just to kind of give that flawless highlighted effect before we go in with bold colors. There's a lot of kickback in this palette, especially from this white shadow. So I would pretty much advise you to apply your eyeshadow before you apply your base, especially if you're not used to playing with very bold colors, because if not, you can get a lot of fallouts and your eyes will look very dark. So just keep that in mind. So let me tell you, this is a very pigmented white. I'm actually very impressed by this. It's hard to come by a pigmented white that really gives you that color payoff without having to press on a lot of shadow. So I'm actually very impressed by this white so far. So now I will take this mid-tone pink, which is called Monte Carlo. So I'm pretty much gonna blend this right above my crease and build up the intensity because we're going in with the purple shadow after. So I really want to have a nice transition color. And this is so pigmented. I am so impressed by this color already. Like, it looks gorgeous. So then I'm just going to take a little bit of that silk color again, and we're just going to blend out the edges right here. So now that that is all blended, I really want to test out this purple pressed pigment, which is called Can. So I'm going to take that on a Morphe E17 brush, and we are going to carefully add this into our crease. So we're going to focus this on our outer corners and into the crease area. But just see the color payoff. Like, OMG, this is a very vibrant purple. And as you can see, I'm pressing this shadow onto the outer corner, and then I'm blending the excess into the crease. And I'm not going all the way in because we are gonna add another color in the inner corners. And then I'm going back in with the Jessup 222, and we're gonna go back into the Monte Carlo and just blend the purple and pink together. Love, love, loving the pigmentation and the color. The purple is gorgeous. And on the reviews that I saw that people had trouble blending out the purple. But for me, I feel like the purple glided on very easily. And so far it looks very good, very pigmented. And I guess that is pretty much because I was very careful. Like I was barely dipping into the palette and I was pressing the pigment on. And then I was carefully like blending out the excess. And it doesn't look patchy or anything. It looks so incredible good so far. So next I'm going to dig into this mustard color right here, which is called Cabana. And I'm going to apply this with a Makeup Mecca pencil brush 205. And we are going to apply that into our inner crease and also to our inner corners. So this is probably my least favorite color so far in this palette because it doesn't show up as pigmented, but that is probably because it is a mustard color, so it's not like a bright yellow. So I'm also going to take that yellow and blend it a little bit into the lower lash as well. And as you can see there as well, we have some kickback in the palette. So now I think it's time that we dig into some shimmery metallic shades, and I just have to test out this Seashells color. This was pretty much the color that made me buy the whole palette because it looks so beautiful with the purples and pinks. So I think I will test it out with a dry brush first, and then we're gonna wet it after to see if it makes a difference. So I'm gonna place this shadow onto the middle of our eyelids and kind of blend it together with the purple shade. So this shadow applied very nice with a dry brush, but I can see a little bit of fallout, which is normal once you apply a metallic with a dry brush. So I'm just going to dust that away. Like this color, you guys, is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. So once I applied it with a wet brush, I didn't get any fallouts whatsoever. So I really recommend you to wet your brush when you are going to use these colors. And now for our inner corners, I want to test out this gold shimmery yellow, which is called Inheritance, and we are gonna place this with a flat definer brush into our inner corners and blend it into the Cabana shade that we also added into our inner corners and also our inner crease. And I will of course also use a wet brush since this is another metallic shade. Like I just can't. This palette is too good, you guys. I can't wait to create more looks with this palette. I'm so inspired to play with more bold colors. So I'm going back in with the Jessup 195 to just blend the shadows together, like the blue and yellow. And then I will go back in with the one that I used on the yellow to kind of drag it a little bit over the blue shade. So I'm just taking what's left on the brush and I'm blending out the shadow Inheritance on our lower lash. Pretty much on top of the Cabana color that we added earlier. So now I'm going back into the palette and I'm taking a little bit of that can color and we're just going to blend the blue and purple together. So here I'm kind of just pressing a little bit of that pigment on top of the blue so the edges look a lot smoother. Then I'm going to take a Monte Carlo again and I'm going to use a smudge eyeshadow brush from Beater, and I'm just gonna add this to the lower lash and connect it to the outer corners as well. So now that the eyes are looking very colorful, bold and bright, I would just go ahead and add some lashes and mascara off camera, and I will be right back to tell you my final opinion of this palette. So I am back. I added some wing liner. This is the Maybelline Master Ink Dip Liner in the shade Matte Black. I also went ahead and added some lashes. These are the Ardell Double Up Lashes, which are my favorite at the moment. And on my lips, I have this combo right here. So I added some MAC Cosmetic Lip Liner in the shade Soar, just to outline my lips and also make an ombre effect. Then I also used the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Pure Hollywood, and then I topped it all off with the MAC lip gloss in Under the Sheets. The reviews that I saw on this palette, they all seem to have a little bit trouble blending out some of these shadows. To be honest, I didn't have that problem. I felt like everything blended so easily. If you're very new to like blending and applying eyeshadows, and if you easily get fallouts, I would do your eyes first so you don't need to do your whole base all over again and you get like fallouts and colors that won't go away. But I didn't have that problem, but I know that a lot of people have had that problem. So my final opinion on this palette is that you should definitely grab it if you want to splurge on it and if you want to create more colorful looks. I really love the color combination that you get in this palette as well, and you get so many shimmery shades and also so many matte shades. And this palette also contains shadows that allows you to create very neutral everyday looks, like this brown and the gold shadows, and you can also be creative and make some very bold and colorful looks, which I really love. The only thing is that you get a lot of kickback in the pans and in the palette, but the only shadow that made a little bit of fallout under my eyes were the shade Seashells. So I got a little bit of fallout under this eye right here once I applied it with a dry brush, but once I wet the brush, I didn't have any problem with the other eye whatsoever. Everything blended out smoothly, it applied easily. So I would say that this palette is definitely worth the money. I would definitely recommend it. I stand by this palette. As you can see, you get a lot of color payouts as well, and the pigmentation in this palette is amazing. So that was my final opinion, review, and demo. And if you want to see more looks for spring using the Riviera palette, then please let me know by giving this video a thumbs up. Also, if you're new to my channel and you still haven't subscribed, I really hope you decide to stick around by hitting the subscribe button. So this week's shout out goes to Anya for commenting happy birthday pretty girl, and of course I have to put hashtag notification squad on teal makeup. Hi girl, I really love you and I really hope your week are going well. Thank you for ringing the bell. So if you want to get featured in my next video, be sure to ring the bell and leave a comment hashtag notification squad down in the comment to let me know that you have rang the bell. And without further ado, thank you for watching. I love you guys and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys. Mwah.